Hi, I'm Abby, and I'm at it again, making another video, because that's what I do. I make lots of videos. I'm obsessed with making them, but I have more to talk about, and so it's very hard for me to know exactly what I want to talk about in this one. I've been saying that in my videos, that I don't know what it is that I want to talk about this time, and I didn't want to talk about time again because I've been talking a lot about time, but it appears to be the conversation that I'm meant to be having right now. But in the video that I just made yesterday, I talked about myself coming to the realization that I have an infinite stream of awareness that is taking place at every single moment of awareness, literally. And that I have awareness that has already lived my lifetime as myself, as Abby, who is very old. I have an awareness that has already moved into the future lifetime. I have an awareness that is still living a past lifetime. I have an awareness that is exploring, re-exploring, what would be re-exploring all of the infinite universe, all of the, I don't even know how you would define that, because we live in an existence, and that is it. We live in an existence, and it is an awareness, and it is an exploration. It is an exploration of a whole, which is the infinite universe. I talk about an infinite reflection that is a giant mirror, and that it is pristine and perfect, and we are all just a tiny little part of a giant mirror of reflection, and that is what incarnation is itself. So I talked about how I became aware that I had lived this lifetime before, and I've become aware of this throughout my life. It just didn't dawn on me like a punch in the face until this week, which was very hard to digest because I don't want to live this lifetime again. I haven't even finished living it as far as I'm concerned, but I already have finished living this lifetime. That is hard to tolerate that. How do you tolerate that? You just tolerate it by just becoming small again in your acceptance of the reality that you can't, it is too much to comprehend with this brain. As a soul, I am an infinite, unconditionally loving energy, and I love so much that I choose to come into an incarnation to explore awareness of the whole. That is what reincarnation is. This isn't just a line where you go, you live, and then you die, and then you go celebrate in heaven for eternity. That's not what this is. This is a choice to learn. You can't learn by living one lifetime. You learn by living all the lifetimes. You learn by being rich, and you learn by being poor. You learn by being hot and attractive, and you learn by being the ugliest person. You learn by having challenge. And that is good. That is beautiful. That's why we have to respect every single living being on this planet. We have to respect everybody, because every one of us is enduring a choice, a soul choice, to become more than we were before, to advance, to expand. Each and every one of us is our own universe. Each and every one of us is our own universe. We don't see each other that way. We see each other as just another body. Just another person working at Walmart. Just another asshole on the road that just cut us off. You know, that's how we see each other. We don't see each other as an infinite mirror. Each and every single one of us is our own infinite mirror. And that is extraordinary. We need to love and respect and appreciate every single infinite mirror. And it's hard here because we're all under a spell that does not allow us to choose to love each other. It allows us what is the influence to choose to hide from each other, to fear what other people think of us, to hide in our shells that are our bodies. And then we try and make our bodies look a certain way, so that way all the other shells out there can accept us more. See how ridiculous that is? You see how hard and complicated we make things? Stop it! We all need to stop it, even me. I'm part of this program too. I need to work on my behaviors as well. I do this every day. We all need to. And you do that by just stepping back and acknowledging your behaviors. And you know what? This isn't just snap figuring it out today and just saying, I'm going to do everything right from here on forward. This is actually just saying, I want to understand why I behave the way I behave, and then I want to make a decision whether or not I want to change that behavior. And you have to understand that all decisions in the universe are good, loved, accepted, and beautiful. Even the decisions that are what some of us would be a painful thing. You know, nobody wants to think about the darkest, the most evil side of living on this planet. We all want to not be a part of that. We all want to try and find safety and shelter in our boring everyday lives, because that is predictable. We don't want to endure a psychopath, you know what I mean? None of us do. But you know what? That is learning too. This whole barrel of monkeys is learning. That's what it is. And the only thing you can do is choose to share and discover. Share, discover, explore at the highest frequency of wisdom. That's all you can choose to do. And if you screw up, you love yourself and you try again. I don't always live up here. I live on this planet too. I'm challenged. I'm challenged every single day, just like every single one of us is. And I don't do everything right. I don't do everything by the book. So I've been thinking about time some more, because I'm obsessed with thinking about it now. And so it is entering into my videos as a very important message. I'm going to take a drink of coffee. These coffee breaks are good because it is exhausting sometimes to talk and share all of this wisdom. It is. And so I need to catch my breath and then reset and get back on it again. Alright, so I want to show you this clock. You can find this clock at Walmart. I shop at Walmart because it is very close to where I live. It is less expensive. I'm not a supporter of a corporate world, but yet I am, because I can't, I have not been raised as a natural human being. A natural human being does not even need, you would be surprised by what the needs are for a natural human being. A natural human being actually has a relationship with the planet, which is a living organism, just like a cell in your body. You are an infinite universe. And you are like a cell on the planet of Earth, which is also its own infinite universe. Do we treat the Earth like it is a beautiful, infinite, all-loving, infinite universe that is both male and both female, that is unconditionally loving towards us and continues to give and give and give? Do we have a relationship with our planet? Our planet is just as much a living human being as the asshole that just cut us off. But the nice thing about the Earth is the Earth loves us unconditionally and continues to provide despite the way that we treat it. That is the purpose of our planet, is to keep the cells that are us continuing to be mobile. It needs the squirrels. It needs the dogs that poop in the yard. It needs the birds. It needs the sounds. Trees grow by the sound of birds singing in the morning. Do you think about these things? The sound of stars, do you even know what it sounds like? It is sound. It has sound itself. Stars are so far away, that the light that we see from the stars is old. It's from millions of years ago. That's how old that light is that we are just seeing. And that light is important to the growth and development of our planet too. And a natural human being can have a oneness and alignment with a balance of nature. The natural human being has the relationship with the Earth and actually communicates with it as though it is an intelligent being, because it is. You don't see the Earth as a living being like you see yourself. The Earth is. The Earth has a brain. It has its own brain. The Earth has its own natural expression. It is a living organism. I am quite certain that it even possesses a soul, because we even call it Mother Nature. Its soul is Mother Nature. Its spirit, you talk to any Native American, you even think about what is a Native American. Native Americans were so in oneness with the planet that they were in oneness with her spirit, the planet's spirit. And they wanted to honor and respect her at all times. Even when it came to the killing of other animals, they were so respectful to all life that they were thankful and grateful for everything that was ever given to them. And we don't act that way. We just murder Native Americans. Get those freaks out of here. They aren't Christian people. Christian people are good. God gives us the almighty reason to kill others that aren't like us. We don't like them. We don't realize that we're all flesh and blood. We're all a living organism. We're all necessary to the planet. The planet needs every single one of us, just like our bodies need every single cell. You get a blood transfusion and you just keep getting it, you know, the blood just keeps coming out of you. You just donate it and it just keeps coming out. Eventually you're going to be drained and dead. The planet needs all the living organisms to survive. It needs the bumblebees. You can tell, you can read about the importance of bumblebees. If there aren't any bumblebees, then the cycle of pollination isn't quite where it used to be, and now our plants and flowers and everything are dying. And then what do we eat? See what I mean? It's important that we have these relationships. I still haven't told you what it is to be a natural human being. You have no idea how powerful and amazing our bodies are. You have no idea. We were not raised in a world that would allow us to have that awareness. I've always had an awareness that I was a powerful being in a universe, and even as a small child. I can't even begin to define how I had that awareness, but when I would play in the woods out back, see, I actually made a video about this and I never shared it. I didn't share it because of some of the messages that I also shared in it. See, I get picky. I don't know. I might redo that video. But when I was very little, I had the privilege of living there was a very large forest behind the house, and a very large expanded yard, a very old house that was kind of magical. I mean, it even had a secret room behind the closets. That's really magical. It had a castle wall, a rounded castle wall, and then you enter into the shower, and it's literally like you're inside a part of a castle. It was cool. It was so it was an architecturally, specially designed living establishment that was neat. Anyway, so we lived there with my grandparents, who owned the house, who'd had the house for a long time. And anyway, they had a very large plot of land, and so I could explore nature at a very young age, and I had a lot of experiences in nature that changed and altered me, and they were the gift of a spiritual connection too. You live in a forest as a child, you play in a forest, and that is your teacher. If you're a child and you're raised by a television, then the television is your teacher. When the forest is your teacher, suddenly you have an alignment of what it is, what are living organisms of all different kinds, insects, animals, and trees. And the less forest we have, the less we are living in oneness with nature, the more challenged we are to remember what it is to be a natural human being. And it is... I'm trying to decide where to begin, because it is important that I complete the idea, but I'm just going to share with you the image that comes to me. It is two people, a man and a woman, and they do not need to wear clothing, and there is a harmony because we are like the animal. But we are different than animal because we have a different consciousness and awareness of our existence. Animals don't need that. Animals are just in oneness with their instinctive natures. All animals are in oneness. You see a cat from today, that cat is going to be the exact same cat you saw 1,000 years ago. Cats are in oneness with their instinctive natures. That is legit. But human beings are still in oneness with an instinctive nature to fear and hide and not love each other. We got to change that, because we gotta alter our way of perception, and we can do that energetically, and we will do that. That is something that will happen in the future. Time itself is so complicated, but human beings have the ability to be so connected with spirit that they could even leave their bodies to travel the universe, to see and explore all of the infinite creation in the mirror, in the giant mirror of all. And that is not, that would not be, to those beings, that would not be a profound thing. That would just be joy. That would just be a joy and a blessing and a natural part of living. To have a spirit, a soul, a connection that is your reflection, and that you love, you adore that reflection so much that you are in oneness with each other, and you explore the infinite universe together, and you do it, and while you do it, you explore each other too. And those are natural human beings. Their only purpose is to be in oneness with the earth. And the earth provides already. They wouldn't even have to grow a garden, because a garden would already have been grown. It would already have been growing over hundreds and hundreds of years. Fruit trees, nut trees, because seeds just plant themselves. Bumblebees do all the work. Human beings actually do not have to cultivate the land. That is not correct, actually. The earth actually cultivates it for us, and literally. In this natural, pristine world, this is true. Because an earth would not have been altered or changed. It would have actually just started to grow things. We would have that relationship. I don't even know how to plant. I cannot keep plants alive on my life. I do not have a green thumb. I kill everything. I don't mean to. I just don't. I'm just not good. I don't know how do you keep a plant alive in a house? It's strange to me. You have to keep taking it out of its pot as it gets bigger. And I'm just not good at it. But if that is all I did every day, was make those connections with nature, and how nature grows, and how nature interacts, and how nature is a living organism too, then suddenly that would not be complicated to me. That would be a breeze. That would be simple. And but natural human beings would not have to work very hard at all. They would actually experience love on a regular basis, and it would just be love of being an infinite creation. You don't have to have things to do. That's what we are like today. That's what we feel like we need things to do. We have a house full of stuff, and then you got to clean it. It gives you something to do, you know. Yeah, you know, you don't have, in an infinite universe, in a perfect human state of a natural state of being human, you would spend your experience exploring an infinite universe, literally, and then you would take breaks to fall in love with your partner all over again at every moment, and you would make love all day long, and you would have children, and your children would be raised by a natural world as well, to become an infinite, to become that awareness. And experience the awareness. And that is what a natural human being is. But I'm not a natural. I do not live in a forest. I wear clothing, I do my hair, and I bought this clock from Walmart, because that's what natural human beings today do. We buy things at the store. That's what we do. We don't actually need a clock. I don't actually even... I sometimes use it just in case I don't wake up, you know, on time or whatever. But when I had known, I always used my cell phone to be my alarm clock. I didn't like the energy of the cell phone. It burns my hands. When it's in my pocket, it burns my skin. I can feel these things about cell phones have a negative energy. That is their existence. They are a creation too. They are a creation that is a reflection of negative energy. But they are attractive to us. They support our lives in ways that we think are meaningful. And so it became very clear that it was time for me to get rid of my cell phone. This conversation is getting complicated because it involves alien beings. I'm going to just take a drink. It involves alien beings, and this clock is the central component of this video. This clock didn't actually buy it because of what it looked like. Didn't buy it. It actually is broken right now. It will not. The alarm will always be set. They cannot change the minutes on the alarm. They will always be at 21. So I can wake up at 5:21 or 6:21 or 4:21, whatever. But it will always be 21 at 21 minutes. At whatever hour. I can't even change it. It's broken. It's a piece of crap. But the reason I bought this clock was not because it was appealing to me, but by its form or structure. I bought this clock here, because I had seen that I had owned this clock at another awareness in my current life. So in this lifetime, I am now an awareness that is re-exploring this exact same life. I am that awareness that is re-exploring it. There is another awareness of me that has not even gotten to the point that is what I consider today. It is a younger version of myself. And there will always be infinite awarenesses cycling through an infinite universe in the incarnate state. And so when I saw this clock, I was inspired to get this clock by alien beings. I mean, I get it. That's the hardest part to talk about, is the alien beings for some reason. I don't mean for it to be this challenging. I really don't. I don't know why it is this challenging. When it gets challenging, it gets stuck here, and then it doesn't flow out of me. I think it has to do with impatience, because I really don't want to go through another long-winded discussion about who and what they are, because it's exhausting. It's exhausting me to talk about these things. Okay, so they're blue. They are blue, and in fact, I actually did a painting of them because I like to paint. I'm running out of room. I don't have a rack to put my oil paintings in. I need to get one, but they're like $100. So I don't get a lot of groceries, and I have a giant pantry that is full of paintings that are just drying because I use oil paint, and oil paint is like the devil because it never dries, and then it collects dust. So it takes a very long time, and then you prepare it. You have to clean off all the dust after it's been drying for like 6 months to a year. I need to do something about this, because you open the pantry and it smells like oil paintings in there, and it's just covered in oil paintings. It is. It's so funny. I need to do something with them. I don't know. I'm just like waiting for some miracle to happen, and suddenly I have a place to put them on. I'm gonna put this on pause. I'm gonna go get you an oil painting of the alien beings. And then I'll show it to you. So hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I've returned. So this is oil and a paint and acrylic paint, and it's got a shiny, shimmery, reflective sort of. It was not intended. Spirit, I draw these. I do. So this is what they look like. Obviously, they look like gray aliens, don't they? But they're blue. they look like. They have big bug eyes, little nose, and a thin mouth. And they come in a team of what is several of them. And so when I made this, I actually, I made it to try to comprehend so, I gotta set this down. Okay. So I made it to try to comprehend what is their existence, because that is what I do. I'm an explorer of the universe, even though I'm just your average little old human being. I'm an explorer of the universe, and I explore the universe here, in my heart, and in my energy field, and as a soul, explore the universe. And I get visitors that visit me here. I had a very special visitor this morning, and even showed me more about time. I'll probably forget to finish this video and tell you about him, but he was this big. But he was only this big in an illusion. He's not actually this big. But he was so tiny, and I put him in my hand, and he showed me literally how time exists for a being that is very small. And it's sort of like Ant-Man, because people, human beings of our size, we have a natural, we think this is fast, you know, this is a fast hand moving, but to a small man that is this big, literally an inch in size, my hand lifting him from the ground onto my countertop was like an eternity of time, of slow motion. I got to experience it for myself. He helped me to experience time, the existence of time for somebody who's very small. You see what our experience of time is so, it doesn't even make sense to have an experience, what we consider day and night and 24 hours. Imagine being a fly in 24 hours. It'd be like a week later to get there. It's different when you're small. And so he gave me an energetic gift. He was completely golden, and he had no face. He is like, you know, you put the sock thing, like a mask on, and it covers your eyes and your mouth, so you're like a faceless person. So he was a faceless person, but he could see the infinite. And he was gold. He was a golden man. He literally was. But he was wearing a little doctor's coat. And this is a spiritual interaction too. And he was showing me. He gave me an energetic gift, and I do this every morning. I wake up and I put my palms upward, and I lay in bed with everything facing upward to the sky, so to speak. And I tell the universe that I am grateful for all of the gifts that I've received in my life, and I choose to live today at the highest frequency. And I ask that any beings who choose to interact with me at this level, if they have, wisdom they would like to share with me, that I am open to receiving that wisdom now. I do this every day. I do this at night. I do it in the middle of the night. I do it in the morning. And it is important that I acknowledge what it is that my choices are in this lifetime. To me, as a human being, I have to do this. I have to do it for myself. I just do. And I don't actually have to do this, but it feels right to me to acknowledge every day that I am grateful for all the things that I have, and that I choose to vibrate at this level of frequency, and that I am open to receiving wisdom from the universe, and that I allow whatever to come to reveal itself to me here. Sometimes I don't see anything here. Sometimes I just feel heat, feel energy, and sometimes I hear some sentences, which will be short and brief, and but sometimes I see things. And this little man showed me what a time was like to a very small person, and then he revealed the illusion of size, that he is not just the small man. He is also a giant creature who has 3 arms on each side of his body. It was not human looking at all. There are some human forms that have multiple arm appendages coming out. I've seen a version that is much like a scorpion man who's standing upright, who has even a scorpion tail. And this version did not look like a scorpion. It had sort of like the body of a man, so it had, he had skin, he had, and he was kind of, he made me think he was dirty, like he was a dirtier, was not clean in his appearance. And his face was like, so he had a masculine body, he wasn't wearing a shirt or anything, so I could, he looked like he worked out, and he was muscular, his arms were all muscular, but he had literally a head like an insect. It was the only way I could describe it. His head was like an insect, but he had sort of a man's body, with these appendages coming out, 3 arms on each side. But then he also revealed to me that he's of another form, and now I can't even remember what he had transformed into. I was just I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know the little man was just going to grow in size, super size, and then become a strange creature. And then he morphed into some other form too. And I don't know if that, I don't try to understand that interaction. I just receive the information and I allow my body to absorb it, and then that is what it is. If there is more for me to understand about it, then it will reveal itself to me. I don't force the information to take place. I allow it to take place when the time is right, when it is time for me to have that awareness. You can't force yourself to have an awareness. You actually just allow the awareness to take place when the time is right. You can't force a baby to be born at 3 months. You gotta wait for the baby to develop, and then it is born when the time is right. You see, that awareness is like that too. So back to the blue guys, I call them the Blue Men group, because they are a group of little blue aliens, and they look like gray aliens, but they're not gray, they're blue, baby blue color, and I've had some very unique interactions with them, but, and they were all energetically related. They were all related. I was very standoffish the first time I saw them enter me here. I did not like their appearance. They reminded me of the gray aliens that I want to pop, like, you know, through the magnifying glass, get the light just right, and then I just want them to burn and die. That is my relationship with aliens that look like that. I've talked about this in another video. And anyway, so these blue men, I've interacted with them in other ways that would be entirely healing related. And they sort of have what is like one mind all connected to the different bodies, and they all filter their thoughts through each other. So they're all connected to each other, and their thoughts are sort of like one mind of thought, but with all the different thoughts coming from the appendages of the mind, which are the individual bodies that they are. And there is only one of them. That literally is the case. There is literally, you could have 1,000 of them, you could have 1,000 of these guys, but they're always one. They're always one mind, because all of the identities travel through and are part of one mind. They are just the individual soul that is comprehending its existence. And as the individual soul in one of the bodies is comprehending their impression, that impression goes through all of the bodies. And then they have one that is literally what it is like. And that is how they interact, that is how they communicate with each other. I don't know what their interest is in me, but they were very adamant about me getting my cell phone away from me. And I know cell phones are not good. I live here too. I would love it if I didn't have to have a cell phone. And then you have kids, and you have to honor what the needs are of what is a family unit. Of if something bad happens, you need to be able to call somebody. And so I accept that that is the world that I live in, and that so I have a cell phone. I use it to write emails, and that's about it. But I have this clock because of those blue men. They even, when I was at Walmart, they were sort of inspiring the directions that I took through the store until I got to this clock aisle, and I was like, oh yeah, I keep thinking about needing a clock, and I keep thinking I need to get rid of my cell phone and have a clock, so I guess I better just honor the Blue Men group who insist that I have this clock. And that's when it dawned on me, that's when I saw it, this clock here. I've owned this clock before, and some other version of me that is in the future now has owned this ugly, weird clock that's broken. But I didn't know that when I bought it. I didn't know. I was like, okay, I have all the clocks. I have a relationship with this clock. I've seen this clock in the future. I've seen myself owning this clock. I don't even know how that's possible. How is that even possible? That I've already owned this clock. And the Blue Men group were, for some reason, very adamant about my realization that I had owned this clock before. It was the weirdest thing. Standing at Walmart in the aisle where there is time, there's clocks for sale. That is a representation of time here. And this representation of time I have owned before. And I'm freaking out in Walmart as I'm realizing this. And there's Blue Men group who are very adamant about me getting this clock for some reason, so I did. So that is my clock. That is the clock that I have. That is my relationship with it. That is Blue Men group. I've seen them before. They came to me one night, and I'm starting to discover they are somehow interested in me and my awareness of what time is. And there was one night that this is not anything to be concerned about. This is not me talking about alien abduction. This is not me. This is me actually interacting with friends in the universe. I was not going to be their friend at all. I told them, I will kill you with my hatred if you even think about doing anything. And I said, but I promise I will only love you if you choose to only share love, unconditional love with me, and then I have no choice but to love you. And those are the contracts that we make with each other in the soul. If you dishonor our agreement, then I have no reason to honor you in return. That is our soul agreements to each other, to honor and respect each other. And if we are dishonored, then that is a choice to say, I do not want to be around you. You dishonored me. You choose to evaluate the relationship, and you decide what it is best. And when it comes to alien beings, I always am very straightforward about what it is that our relationship will entail. Either you honor and respect me, or I get a choice to defend myself in any means possible, even if it means killing you. I will do it, because I am a human being. And they know I do not have an advanced awareness, and that is why I have to communicate with spirits, and that is why I have to communicate with alien beings who have the awareness, if only to help me make choices that are always at the highest frequency, because I'm not your average human being. I don't live every day like everybody else does. I have to find a means to keep up with the spirit world, an alien world, a human world, and I go to work, and I try to clean my house, and I have to buy groceries. And I live a normal life, but I live in an extraordinary awareness. And so I have to find a means to keep up with everything, And so I make these deals. And that is all I can do right now. But they have never harmed me at all. In fact, they have only enlightened me. They have only been extremely good and kind to me, as they said they would be. And so I heal them. I have healed them. I share energy with them, and in exchange for wisdom that they give to me. And that is an exchange of love. That is not a fight. That is not, oh, here's $10, thanks, buddy. That is me saying, I honor you and what you have shared with me to such a degree that I want to share love and healing with you. That is the way. That is really the way the structure of society should be. That is how we honor. Should be about honor, respect, and respect. It should not be about what is the financial, monetary value of a gift. That is not, did the earth say when it grew an apple tree that these apples should cost, $1.99 a pound? If you want an apple from my tree, human being, You're going to pay me $1.99. What would the earth do with a freaking $1.99 a pound? What would the earth do with money? The earth wouldn't do anything with money. They would just disintegrate back into the earth and become a new apple tree. See, the earth just gives. Human beings seem to think that they need to own things, control things, and they have an ego that has to be at a certain level of what is the most safest survival instinct that I can have, and is always fear-based. It is... Anyway, that is my relationship with the Blue Men group. They're the reason I have this clock. They're the reason I am talking about time, because I was thinking about them this morning. And then the little guy on my hand, the little tiny guy, who was showing me what time is to somebody who is very small in comparison to time as somebody in my size. Even then it is different. Even then it is altered. You see how wisdom comes to me? You see how it trickles down like rain? When you open up the pantry door, when you say, okay, I am ready to receive wisdom now on this subject matter, then you don't force, you don't tell, you don't demand, you just allow the wisdom to enter into you. And then suddenly you just start to have realizations about things. You don't know how they happen, but you just take it in and allow it to become like you are SpongeBob. And SpongeBob then sucks in the water and becomes a full sponge. That is what you do. That is how you take in wisdom from the universe. You are like a SpongeBob, and then you suck it in, and then you become full of wisdom. You see how that works? If you're not a SpongeBob, you know, full of wisdom, then you're just a dried out sponge. You don't have anything in there but dry. You need to get water wisdom in there. So you can be a normal sponge and be useful, see? Full of wisdom. You can clean things with a wet sponge. You can't clean anything with a dry sponge, see? So, anyway, I don't know. Just make these videos. I've been talking forever. But it was important to me to talk about time again. It was important to me to talk about what it is to be a natural human being in the universe. It is important to me to tell you a small smidge of the Blue Men group, who had inspired me to find this clock, to get rid of my cell phone, away from my bed, so I could sleep better at night even. And now I have this junky clock, but I've owned this clock before in this exact lifetime. It is only this awareness that is speaking to you right now, in your present moment of awareness too. There's infinite numbers of awarenesses happening all the time. Not to get too overwhelmed by that realization, but just to accept it and know I am an infinite soul in a universe, an infinite universe that is spiritual and physical, and that I love unconditionally to such a degree that I choose to enter into an infinite spiral of incarnations. And that is the gift that I give to the mirror. That is the gift that I give to my mirror. That is an infinite mirror, an infinite universe of its own. And that is the gift I give to the almighty mirror. That is all the mirrors. That is all of us. I give my lifetimes and incarnations to you, to everybody. And you do the same for me. We are all souls. We are all one. We are all one in an almighty, ginormous, infinite mirror. See? It's only as big or as little as you choose to perceive it to be. It's only as fast or as slow as you choose to perceive it to be. It is only as terrible or as beautiful as you want to perceive it to be. See? So, I'm just going to make sure that I covered everything. I keep thinking about one more thing I'm just going to tell you really quick. I hope these videos don't exhaust you, because they kind of exhaust me. If I talk about anything else, it's going to exhaust me, but I'm just going to tell you about this. So the Blue Men group came to me one night, and I opened my eyes, and it must have been in a dream state, but it was very real to me. And I have done this before, where I've woken up in my room, and I was not actually in the physical dimension that I am in. I was of a different dimension, in a different place, and I don't know how to describe what that place is. But I woke up as I normally would wake up in my bed, and I saw everything in my room as I normally would see it, and I thought I was awake. I thought I was in the normal dimension that I am talking to you in. And anyway, When I opened my eyes, I saw Blue Man, one of the blue men, staring straight down into my eyes. And I started laughing because he looked so silly. And I was like, told him he looked like a man wearing ginormous sunglasses, and that's just silly. And as I was laughing, the image, as I'm gazing into his eyes, and his eyes are gazing back into mine, the image alters, and I'm on a swing, and I'm going around and around in a circle. And I felt like such a child, too, because I was just laughing, and it was just funny. I don't know, everything was just so funny. And I didn't even know that I was I was being hypnotized, basically. And when the swing ran out of coil, and then it just snapped, you know, if you wind up a swing and then you let the swing unwind, and then it snaps when it's to the end. When it snapped, I became aware of my room again, and I saw the little blue men's running out of my room and down the hallway. So I got up and I said, "Aha! I knew I've seen you in my apartment before. I've seen you before." So I got up and I ran towards them, and then I got down the hallway and into the kitchen. So you can kind of see that back there. I was standing in there, and it was dark, of course, because it was night, and that would be natural for it to be dark. And that is when I discovered something very unusual, and something I don't even think I could tell you in this video, but something very unusual in my physical form was altered. And I suddenly became really confused that I was in a dream. I was in a dream. And then I woke up in my room, and then I was in my room again. So where was I? Where was I? I don't know. I have no freaking clue where I was. I have no idea what that meant. No clue. I've not tried to understand what that meant. I've only become aware that that I had met somebody that day too. The day that I woke up from that very strange experience, I met some random person that day, and it altered my world slightly. And I don't know see what I mean? I'm a human being just like you, who doesn't always understand the connections of everything that exists in our world. Don't realize how many like things are happening that are there to help us comprehend, but our ability to make sense of the connections is not there. You have to have a spirit world to help you make sense of the connections. And sometimes it takes years and years and years, and even over lifetimes, to make sense of things that are taking place. And trying to help us develop as a soul and advance, and help the almighty mirror expand even, you know? I'm not trying to make sense of half of the things that take place in my life, but I am a sponge, and I am absorbing wisdom. And although I can't make sense of why that took place, what the point of it was, it did take place, and it was the most realist experience I have had with Blue Men Group, because it seemed like it was taking place in real life. And they've never done anything to harm me. I have no fear of them, no fear of... If you are abducted, you have fears. You have unnatural fears. I have no unnatural fears. I'm completely in balance and alignment with a high frequency, and I'm always connecting with love. I connect with love before I go to bed every night, so that way my dreams, and that way the vibration of my body in a sleep state is at an elevated level. I don't go to sleep feeling hatred, because then now I sink so low that I can actually interact with beings that are not there to help me. I only want to interact with beings that are there to help me, and even spirits are beings. They're just the lightest density of creation, and then the spirit can enter the physical. And there are many different levels of what is physical, a physical experience, many different levels. So I'm just going to stop there. And this video is just so expansive, it's so huge, and talks about all kinds of millions of little things that I don't know if it's going to mean, I don't know what it's going to mean to anybody, but I hope it gives you an idea of what exists out there, of what my life is like, of what it is to be a natural human being, of what we are as human beings towards each other today, and the importance, again, of choosing to make that higher connection, choosing to be the highest frequency, and to always choose to have self-awareness. I don't know how to make sense of half of the stuff that happens in my life. I can feel in my heart that it is okay that I can't understand everything. That is okay. But as you can see, I do understand things. I do have an expanded awareness of existence. I have an expanded awareness of existence, not because I read a bunch of books that somebody else wrote. I read it from reading what is the patterns of the universe. I read the patterns of the universe. All of the wisdom in the universe is contained in a single flower. It is contained in a frog. It is contained in a bumblebee. It is contained in the stars. It is contained in every living thing. And so we can choose to be the living beings that exist in this type of society that is completely building upon itself, constantly trying to find new ways of protecting its identity, which only complicates our lives even more. And then we need television just to deal with how exhausted we are from the stress of living here. Or you can remove all of that and simplify it down to an interaction that is purely loving, with a mirror that is a reflection of your mirror that you love more than anything else in the universe. And then you explore an infinite universe on a planet that provides to you, and you experience profound love on a daily experience of life. I mean, that's literally the way I could tell you it. That is the difference between what is natural and what is unnatural, is where we live. We live in an unnatural world. Very unnatural. It's killing us. We live in such an unnatural world, it is killing us, and we are okay with that. It is killing the planet and killing us. That is insanity. That is what you would describe as insanity. Human beings aren't insane. We are just responding to a world that is insane. The structure of society is insane. And that is how we respond to that insane structure of society. So you take down society, and suddenly human beings become at oneness with what is their natural, what is themselves as a natural organism. And you do that through loving and healing is the frequency that changes all the frequencies here. Love and healing is. So the more we choose to spew out love and healing with each other, and be honorable and respectful of each other, to see each human being as its own infinite universe, to see each human being as its own expression of love, when we start to do that, now everything changes. You don't see Mother Earth saying, I need you to pay me for the apples on this tree. What is she going to do with freaking money? We are also like Mother Earth. What are we going to do with money? Why we create this society? It doesn't make any sense. It's just like Mother Earth telling us we have to pay for her apples. That is what we're doing here. That is stupid. It is a dumb idea. It needs to be altered. It needs to be changed. Anyway, I'm going to stop now. But I hope you found this video helpful, enlightening, and expanding your awareness of time. And we're kind of learning together, because every day I discover new things about time, and I find it very fascinating. And so that is all for today, and thank you for watching my video.